Good afternoon. This is the Unit 2 observation, Newton's second law lab. As we can see, in here we have the first chart that was to put the same mass and change the net force. The question of this graph were two questions. The first one is uh, the response of the first one is the simulator was a great instrument to compete and collect data from investigation. The simulator showed me how some of the different forces work and how the acceleration change depending on the mass and the force you use. For example, in the first chart, I use different force on hover punch and the velocity change, the same as the acceleration. So in here we can see that this this line has a positive slope that the, that the meaning is that the acceleration is growing. Then we continue with the second question. How does the acceleration of an object depend on the force are acting on it? The force you use on hover punch can be able to change the acceleration of an object. In the graph, we can see as we already told, as I already told, we can see the positive line. This tells us that the force is getting bigger, the velocity and acceleration grows. Then we continue with part B with these two other questions. The third one that says, how does the acceleration of an object depend on its mass? The acceleration of an object depends on its mass. An example will be that when we use the same force pulling different objects, but with different mass. In the chart, we can see the acceleration is getting slower because the mass increases. So let's start with the same force on hover punch and the mass changing. First, with 500 kilograms, and the T1 that will be 1.9, and the V1 that will be 1 meters per second, the T2 that is 1.3 seconds, and the final velocity that will be 3.1 meters per second, giving us an acceleration of 10.5 meters per second square. And if the fifth trial number of the chart, we have a mass of 3,000 and acceleration of 1.6 meters per second square. Finally, we continue to the last question that says the explanation will be it is true that in order of a passenger airplane to take off into the air, it must reach a high speed by the end of the runway. And because the truth that mass can change acceleration of an object is why commercial airlines limit the number of pieces of the luggage that passengers can bring on the plane because airplane has a force limit. You can't have more mass that the airplane can push because it will fall down. Okay, so that's it for this video. I hope you really understand my explanation, how the acceleration of an object can depend uh, by the mass or the force you put on it. This will be my chart if you want to see it. This is the chart of the part B of the observation. And this will be my first chart of the part A. So thank you too much and have a good day.